Guys, July numbers are in for Aqua in Panama City Beach. Hi, I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Just want to take a minute and see what happened in the month of July, update you so in case you're an owner in there, you can have some sense of what the market is doing. If you've seen any of these previous analysis, one of the charts I like to always look at is this one. This red line represents the number of units that are for sale at a given time. This right now we're just looking at Aqua. The black line represents the number of closings. What you're seeing since November, December of last year is that inventory has continued to go up and up and up, although in the last couple of months it's trickled back down a bit. You can see you can see the reason for that. Closings had stayed pretty steady while more and more units came on the market. Although we had a few more sales than listings here in the last couple of months. Again, if you've seen these reports before, you'll know that one of the biggest leading indicators of what may happen in the short term in a market is this months of inventory number. In other words, if we're trying to look at what may happen here in the next quarter or two, this is a real important trend to understand. Remember, 5 to 6 months of inventory in real estate is what's considered a neutral market. That means anything around that number is what might be called a normal market. Anything under 5 months of inventory, we're drifting into seller market territory. When you get down to 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, you're in an extremely hot market. That's where you see a lot of price appreciation. You may hear stories of multiple offers on condos after one day on the market, that kind of thing. If you drift over 5 or 6 months, we're drifting into buyer market territory. Things slow down a little bit. There are more units for sale than there are buyers for them. If we stay in buyer market territory for too long, that's when you can see that prices potentially can come down. So if you look back to the middle of 2018, you see that we were right in very hot seller market territory. Again, this data is just from Aqua, so there's not that much data to analyze, but we can still start to look at some trends. So like most of the condo market last year, right in the middle of the year, we were very hot, scorching hot seller's market. Units were moving very fast. Units were selling for a premium. We slowed down a bit, mostly to a lack of activity in Aqua through the rest of the year. Since January, we're trending up into neutral market territory. Look, we've gone from a month and a half of inventory to 4.5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. That's a pretty steady trend. We jumped to 12 in June, which is more than just a neutral market. That's a very slow buyer's market. Those are the buyer's market numbers. But look, already in July, we had some good action in the last month. We had 3 closings in Aqua. That brought us down, at least temporarily, into a little bit of seller market territory. So it'll be really interesting to see how this continues, especially into when we start looking at August numbers, we start looking at September numbers. Traditionally, we see a lot of units come to the market in those months. If units come up for sale more than are selling, we may very well see a continuation of this trend. If we stay in this trend of neutral market or even buyer's market for too long, that could be a sign that maybe the market needs to pull back just a little bit. To give you an idea and compare this to the rest of the condo market, I'll pull up for you the Panama City Beach condo market, and we'll look at everything only built since 2005. I want to compare apples to apples. So this is just the newer buildings like Calypso, Splash, Tidewater, Sunrise Beach, Seychelles, those kinds of things. So very similar story in this market. You can see that inventory across the Gulf has been increasing. Really since August of last year, we're seeing more and more units come up for sale. The black line represents the number of closings. Like in Aqua, we had a little uptick in June and July. And if you look at that months of inventory number, it's a lot more clear here with so much more data. You can see back in the middle of the year last year, we were in that scorching hot seller's market. 1 month of inventory, 1.2, 1.5, 1.7. We've drifted to 3.9, 5.65, back down into the 3s, 2s, and up in June and July, we're now in neutral market territory across the board. Again, it'll be very interesting to see what happens come the next 60 days or so, as traditionally a lot of people put units on the market at the end of rental season. If you want to keep up with what's going on in Aqua specifically or any other building that you might want to keep track of. Make sure that you're set up for our e-alert system. This is the one we've set up for Tidewater. We can send this to you once a month, once a week, once anytime anything happens. And this is a really nice presentation of just what's going on in the market. It shows you what's for sale. It shows you what is under contract. We'll show you what's sold, what date, and what the actual sold price is. I think this is my favorite feature. It'll also show you if there's a price reduction. It'll show you when something's new on the site. So if you haven't been set up for these, it's very easy. Again, we can customize how often you receive these. We can customize which building or buildings you want for these. So the easiest way to get signed up, if you want to, either reply to this email with a good email address and which building or buildings you'd like to keep track of. If texting is easier, text me at 850-527-0221 and just write in Aqua and a good email address for you, and I'll set you up right away. Hope you guys found this helpful, and we'll be in touch. Thanks.